Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. How is everybody doing today? It's been kind of weird here as usual. Weather's been really strange. So it's been like warm but stormy. It's been quite a number of years since we really had one of those. Of course, they always just act like whatever is happening is normal. So in my old timeline, we did not have warm storms in this region. But here we do. Unfortunately, it's kind of killing the fireworks show. We have a lot of Mexicans with bootleg Mexican fireworks around here, so usually the show is pretty good. But right now it's just kind of creepy because it's cloudy out, and then you just hear booms and you see vague flashing. Okay, all right, I'll go straight to the the cheetah bear. It's funny because everybody's looking at it thinking it's a different. I thought it reminded me of a seal, because we have those really speckly seals like here, and then somebody, they said it looked like a hyena in one spot I went to, but like this one reminds me of a seal. And then I don't know, like, what was the other thing? I forgot already. But it is a marbled polecat. And not a cheetah, a hyena. Somebody said it reminded them of a hyena, like one of those goofy hyenas. Okay, so it's a marbled polecat. So the reason it's a Mandela for sure for me is because polecats used to just be skunks. That's it. Polecats were skunks. They weren't their own thing. In fact, about a year or two ago, I even looked that up to make sure that polecats hadn't turned into a separate species, because I learned from possum and opossum that it starts out where they say, oh, opossum's just another word for possum, and then next thing you know, they're separate species. So I'm like, okay, polecat's just another word for skunk. Is it a separate species now? And it was not last time I checked, so now it is. So Jackie found this one. I think she was just saying, what the F are these things? And that they're Mandelas, but she didn't say they used to be skunks. Now, the lore is that that was a nickname locally, like in America, in the South, for skunks only. But we have our own polecats. An American polecat is actually supposed to be the Blackfoot ferret. But it's kind of weird because a polecat's a really old word, and the story of the Blackfoot ferret, well, it keeps changing, but last I checked years ago, they had been thought extinct for like 80 years, and then a small batch of them had been found, and then they took some for breeding, and then they were incubating that batch, and then another small batch had been found. But now all that stuff that I'm talking about with the batch found happened like 15 years earlier, way earlier. And the Blackfoot ferret has a special kind of a memory for me, because around the 90s, when just before stuff really started to get weird, some of the what looked like Blackfoot ferrets showed up in my yard, and it looked like a family. There was like little ones and two adults playing and goofing around, and I should have got my camera out sooner, but I didn't think of it. And then when I went back, I ran to get it, and they were gone. And I was like, these are really weird. Like, I thought they were escaped ferrets, somebody's pet ferrets. But then there was a whole family, and they all had this unique coloration. And I looked up those things on the internet. It was still around back then, even though smartphones were not. And I could not find them as any domesticated animal, but only Blackfoot ferrets. They look like Blackfoot ferrets, but those are supposed to be only 20 or 50 of them alive in the entire world. And I even checked to see if any escaped from the local zoo here. I'm like, maybe they escaped and they're just living in the wilds. And I'm like, am I hallucinating? Because my nobody saw them but me. Okay, so I told my mom about it, and she goes, well, that's weird. And then she told me that she went to the senior center, and other people had also seen these things in their yard. And the city's not that small. So, like I drive maybe 6 miles to get to the senior center. So, I don't know. The whole thing was weird. I never saw him again. after that one time. But I'm like, but it's impossible because it shouldn't be Blackfoot's, right? And I remember I was starting to get a little more woo back then, and I was like, man, it's just kind of one of those anything is possible, you know, like it's technically impossible that these ferrets are in my yard, yet I saw them and they were in my yard. So whatever, you know. So now I guess they're polecats, which used to be skunks, which is whatever. These are not Blackfoot ferrets, I might add. These are some new kind that Jackie found called marble polecat. So I guess it's another version of the weaselly kind of creatures. So we got a weasel that did show up. Like I looked, one of the reasons I know there were no weasels in my area is because I looked for native weasels of any kind in my area, and there were none. And now there is a native weasel. It looks nothing like the things I saw. It doesn't have the right coloration for Blackfoot ferrets, but yeah, a weasel showed up in my yard. Now we got this thing. I don't know, like it's like a. Oh, you know what I thought it reminded me of? It reminded me of a half seal, half like snake or something, because the way it just moves, like it's so long, like a giant hot dog or something. I don't know. So yeah, this thing, what the F? And this is the first time seeing it. I'm like, it's gonna get even more weird than it already is. I mean, the ferrets around here aren't that weird. Now it looks like a snail. And sometimes it looks like a cat. And then sometimes it looks like a bear. A tiny bear. Or it looks like a, yeah, like a kitten or a rat. I don't know. It's like everything. Everything and nothing. It reminds me of the platypus, because they used to say the platypus looked like they took different parts of different animals and stuck them all together. And it was said that in the old days, when people tried to describe a platypus to someone that never saw it, they're like, oh, shut up, that's not real, you know, you're obviously lying. Oh, there's long-tailed weasel. I think 2 weird spots right there on the chest. I wonder if they all have that, because they didn't before. These ones don't. Not really. I wouldn't be shocked if that zoned in, but. So what happened last week? I don't know, like, there's something about Christmas. I'm like such a rush to get stuff done because it's Christmas and, you know, people want their stuff. And there's just kind of a lot of stress in the air, and then my own stress. And then I think I'm doing fine. But then, like, right at Christmas, when it's, now I don't need to really work that hard because I've done all the stuff I really got to do, then I kind of just, like, crash. And so now last year I got super sick. This year I just felt really zoned out, and then I slept almost the entire day. And then I woke up so late that it was dark already, and I thought it was 5 a.m. and it was 5 p.m. And then I asked people why they were up so early, and it was 5 p.m. And they're like, what are you talking about? So that was my very weird Christmas. So I just had a few hours in the evening. And then, I don't know, like something happened where I swear to God, today was supposed to be Tuesday, and it is freaking Wednesday. So I don't know how that happened. It's like I lost a half a day on Christmas and then another whole freaking day. Because I swear to God, when I woke up this morning, I'm like, today's Tuesday. And then the computer said it was Wednesday. So I don't know if it was like a lost time or I'm just stupid. Panda, cheetah, skunk. Yeah, I don't know. It's like everything is in that little thing sewed in there. I was shocked that it was, oh, okay, I'm not, yeah, okay. I swear, I was absolutely sure that I didn't have the show until tomorrow, frankly. Yeah, well, okay. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, this is Monday, was yesterday. I don't know how that happened. Seabirds drink seawater. Really? I have not heard that one's an interesting one. I'm going to write that one down. They used to say if nobody could drink seawater because the salt would, like, kill you. Too much salt. Come on, pen. Seawater. I don't know why my eyes are lazy about focusing. Certain days they're like, we ain't working today. I did a lot today though, because I had all this work to do and I had this show, and I'm trying to actually go to Quartzsite this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get it in there, but I'm trying to. But that means I got to catch up way in advance on this work so that I can leave all weekend and then still get my shipments commitments out on Monday. I was going to shut down the shop, but then I just couldn't bring myself to do it because I had a couple things. I might lose money. I mean, some of those people will wait, but some won't. But the other thing is, I don't know if I'll lose all my slots in the search engines. And the only way to find that out is to do it. And some people say it happens, but I don't know if it's going to happen if I only did it for 2 days. But I've had weird things happen where, like, I lose my slot in the search engine for, like, 6 months or longer, and I don't sell a single thing of that for months and months. So I was a little nervous about doing it, so... All right, seabirds. Yes, wakey, wakeys. Seabirds. So, like eagles, because eagles are seabirds now. Seabirds drink seawater. Why can some birds drink salty seawater? Salt glands and ducts connected to their bills that rid their bodies of excess salts. Like, I still don't get, like, how, though. So you have a... the owls are killing me because they're ridiculous these days. All right, salt gland. Oh, you have it up above your eye. Birds can't do anything normal. Okay, so these giant snout holes that showed up that old birds didn't have, that's what they're using now. Okay. You know, it's just so funny because in the old days, there'd be scientists going, oh, well, this can never happen because animals can't do blah, blah, blah. And, like, so many of those things where they all snooty, like, told me that animals can't do blah, blah, blah. Animals are doing that blah now. Like, just about all of it. No, animals need sunlight. Nope. We got these creatures that live off of the chemical slime in the bottom of a cave and those sulfuric smokers in the middle of the ocean floor and radiation. It doesn't matter what. So I think if you can imagine it, it can happen. In one experiment, a gull ingested about 1/10 of its body water in seawater, body mass in seawater, the equivalent of a 150-pound human drinking 2 gallons of seawater. After 3 hours, the bird had totally eliminated the salt load, mostly via excretions. So what? It's like skunky salt drizzling out of his schnoz here, or what? I mean, did you ever see birds and there's like garbage? Because I don't recall seeing that personally. All seabird. Okay, this was some seabirds, but according to BBC, it's all seabirds. Yet birds have less efficient kidneys than humans. So how can it be? Let's see. Seabirds have less efficient kidneys, but they have specialized salt glands next to their eyes that look like miniature kidneys, pumping salt ions out of the bloodstream against the normal flow of osmosis. The extra salty water drips down the side of their beak. Ew. So can eagles drink seawater? Eagles drink sea water. So maybe that's the new definition now. Not seabirds not only just hang out by the sea, but they can drink seawater. Yes, seagulls can drink seawater, but only certain species that are adapted to. Okay, I don't know if I trust that AI. Let me go to a different one. The brave AI is not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Boink. I think this is the one. You can see I was asking about vitamins. I'm always asking about vitamins. If this happens, what about this? Does this one affect this one? Well, if you take that one, does it... I love the AI because I can do a month's research in 5 minutes. No, eagles cannot safely drink seawater in any significant amount. While some seabirds have a special adaptation, eagles lack the key feature and would be harmed. Well, at least for now. I trust this AI more than the other one, though. It rarely makes a mistake. Typical seabirds, gulls, albatrosses, and penguins. Okay, it makes sense that penguins could. There's typical seabirds, and then there's eagles. And for eagles, it's no. All right, let's read this thing. All right, it doesn't really say whether they can drink salt water here. All right, let's see. Don't make a liar out of me there, AI. Wait, didn't I just click on that one? All right, 1 and 4 equals 1. The 1 and 4 is the same length. You stinker. Okay. Well, we know gulls can. All right, 5. How do seabirds drink water? All right, we already saw that one too. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a ton of information on this yet. Maybe you caught this very early in the development process. Maybe I could do an old-fashioned style hunt, which would be to just Google it. Can eagles drink sea water? Of course, we've already seen that one source says yes and one source says no. Does this one even have a good source for their yammer? Let's see what their source is. Eagles one. It's got the same source. Do seabirds drink? Have you seen a bald eagle drinking water? All right, well, I don't know if it's fresh or not. Eagles can drink ocean water, according... you know, I'm bragging about the AI. You know, it's, where does it say they can? Because over here it says, all right, do eagles drink water? Yes. I swear to, okay, eagles can drink ocean water. It says that right here, right? Eagles can drink ocean water. All right, but where... When I say read more, does it say eagles can drink ocean water? Find. It's not there. Do you see my problem? This crap happens all the time. Google says it's there. It's not there. And I was like, I'm just wondering if I went crazy. I don't know. Where am I go? Okay. Maybe I did go crazy, but it wasn't from this. Maybe it's just not decided yet. Seagulls can drink salt water. Today I learned. Seagulls can drink. What about eagles? You know, there's no info. I think it's still brewing. They're just some birds, and then other places say all seabirds. That was bizarre because DeepSeek said no, but it really didn't say no in the links that DeepSeek chose. Then the other AI said yes, but when I clicked on its sources, it didn't really say yes in there. Google said it said yes in there, but when I clicked on it, it didn't really say that. This is weird. Maybe the AI is thinking, okay, seabirds can drink salt water. Eagles are seabirds, therefore eagles can drink salt water, right? That would be my guess in the thought processes. What is everyone? I'm drinking my Diet Coke as usual. I'm not really doing anything for New Year's. I woke up with a lot of work to do today because it wanted me to ship all this stuff today that I thought I had one more day to do. I did do a good job catching up, but man, I've got so much more stuff to do if I want to go to the show this weekend. Since they have salt glands, I still haven't recovered from them growing those beak holes that are the nasal whatever the fucks. But some of them have it back there, and then one of those holes. I mean, like, yeah, the owls, they have their ears back there. So let me look at owls again. So did they have those beak holes? Owls. Owl. They have tiny beaks. Is that why their ears are in the back? Oh, see? They do have those nose holes. So, okay. So, I don't think they were that big either. So, I guess they all have the ears hidden then? I don't remember them having open ears either originally. It's like all these holes are opening up. You know, I got the, coyote mandible, the jawbone out the other day, and there's another hole, like a pretty prominent hole in the bottom now too. So I'm gonna bet that the eagles are gonna get that ability. It just hasn't showed up yet. I think things are pretty shifty. Let's see what else has even happened. So one thing that just happened a couple days ago is I drove up, and across the street there's a fenced off lot. I don't know why there's not a house in there, but my guess would be that at some time it probably burnt down and nobody rebuilt, because it's just so hard to build something in California that people realize that it'll cost way too much. Half of it goes to regulations and all this crap. So even if you own the land, it's like, So they only want to build like 50 homes at a time, because then they have the efficiency of building a lot, and then they can afford all these fees and still like make a profit on the final. Okay, so I was driving up, and I looked over there, and there's this cat sitting on the fence way up, like up, you know, and it was all regally sitting on the top of this post, and I'm like, what in the F? Because I don't remember there being a white fence there. Now, they had a little white fence, like a little picket fence across the front of the property that was mostly more decorative than anything, like just kind of a reminder not to step on the grass, but it's not going to hold anybody out. But now there's a very solid, rather like tall, that new plastic stuff they use, solid wall, which ain't no cheap thing. Those plastic ones are not. All the way down, not only that yard, but the yard past. Like it's almost, I don't even know who put that in. Like, did they own all of that? Because it's just like whoosh. And the cat was sitting on the last end post of it. And what's weird is I'm quite sure it's not there, because I used to always be like, I'm pretty sure the cats kind of live in that side yard a lot, like that hidden. They would go underneath the fence, and the fence had the plastic on it, so you couldn't really see under there, so they felt really hidden. And a lot of times there's a truck parked in there. They'd hide under the truck. And so I'd always be like, oh, there's the cats in there. But I pretty much had to like peek through tiny holes in the fence, and that looks very suspicious. So I would be like, peek, but then I wouldn't do it for long, you know. But I'm always like, oh, are there any cats in there? Well, now I don't have to do that, because this fence is there, and then the old fence is like way over here, and it's kind of a temporary fence that just kind of fits a lot. And so there's like a huge sight thing. It's like a 3 feet of like, you can see into that yard now. So, and I don't see any vehicles parked in there anymore, even though it's the same neighbors. So I don't know what's going on, but there's no question now of seeing in there. It's very easy. I wouldn't have to be like, so that's the other reason I'm like, that wasn't like that. So I'm like, well, is it new? Well, I looked really carefully along the bottom, and there's like all the grasses. There's no disturbances in the dirt. All the grass is right up to the edge, and nobody's stomped around. And so I don't think it could be new. I mean, it has to be like at least a month old, I think. So it's just, I don't know. It's just those things, you know. I feel like I just there's so many things like that I'm pretty sure on that one, because I have that anchor memory of trying to see if the cats were in there, which now is not a problem. But there's a lot of other times where I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure that wasn't like that, but I can't be 100%. And then it bugs me. I wish I would remember. And there's been a lot of those lately. Is Drew Barrymore in Australia? I have no idea. Remember, Australia is like almost the size of the United States, so I think you guys are probably more worldly than the average person. But I remember once I went to Colorado for something, and all the people who met me wanted to know, oh, you're from California. Have you met Ronald Reagan? Like, I'm like, California is huge. You know, I never met Ronald Reagan just because I'm in the same state. They were all like, like I'm some kind of loser because I hadn't met Ronald Reagan. I'm like 99.99% of Californians have not met Ronald Reagan. Then they're like, well, do you surf? And I'm like, no. They're like, like I'm some loser. Like they all have to know Reagan and surf, I guess. Yeah, I mean, people are people. That's kind of the thing to learn, you know. And you know, just because you can yap really good on air doesn't mean you're fun off air. Like I don't have the world's best social skills, but I'm good at talking. So, and I'm good at like seeing Mandela. So the two go together fine. But I'm not like an evil person or anything. But I'm just not like, I don't know. I'm just not real good at that stuff. So I'm kind of like, you know, people are like, I don't know about her. But usually after they know me for a while, they're like, oh, okay, she's all right. I'm usually like that kind of person. I'm going to have that on. I got Spider-Man lizards on the docket. They're here, right there. We should all predict 2026 predictions from Mandela's. I think I kind of make predictions all the time on here, so I don't know. I just don't know exactly when it's going to happen. Like, that's my prediction. I'm going to predict that eagles probably will come out to be drinking seawater like the others. Yeah, definitely for some people, I can talk about Mandela's forever, but it's a little harder with different age ranges because they'll notice different Mandelas. Like, your genre was all into a different batch of things. Luckily, I do know some of them because I think you're only one age group off, so there's overlap. If you were like an alpha, I'd probably be like, what are you even talking about? I noticed that on TikTok, there's like the young kids. They do talk about Mandela's, but it's all their young kid stuff that you probably don't even know it. Like, now I have seen there's like a few shows that I watch that Alpha watch. I have seen Mandela's in those. Because, it's so fast now. You can watch the show for 2 years and there's already a Mandela at the beginning of the show now. Or even 6 months ago. Anyone who sees yeah, that's kind of my feeling for Mandela people. It's like, just that Mandela's makes you really interesting to me. But I have noticed that not many Mandela people are very interested in socializing, surprisingly. Even ones that are really freaked out, a lot of them, it's kind of like pulling teeth to even get them to come to the conference. A million people say they're going to go, but they don't go. Even having local meetings, like meetups, a lot of people say they're going to go, but they don't go. And I would have thought it was just me, but like everybody else who tries to do it, it's the same thing. So for some reason, I just don't think it's that hard to drive 20 minutes. Like, all of the people we're talking about are people that drive normally, like for work and stuff. A lot of them don't have kids, or they definitely could make the time twice a year to do it, and like it's not that hard, but they just won't. I don't know what it is. Yeah, you noticed that. Okay. I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not social. I'm not super social, but I'm not social, but I'm just not really good at being social. Like, I'm not good at, I think, like, one of the reasons I talk about Russia a lot is I think I would fit in there better with how Russians are on certain things. For instance, they are pretty blunt and they don't cherry coat things very much. And they like to just talk about really serious, deep things right away, which are things I just find more interesting. Like, people I hang out with here, and they'll talk for 2 hours on the restaurants, and the lasagna and the pizza. And I don't mind talking about those things. It's just that I don't want to only talk about those things. I want to get into the deep existential stuff, and most people do not. Especially now. There's no interest in that. Politics is about as close as you can get. And that's another thing. Most people cannot talk anything other than their side. They have a side and they're defending it, and their script that their whole side has. So that's boring to me too, because I'm like, I already know your side script. Let's talk about like stuff outside the script. Nope. There's not many that will do that. Just like stuff outside, that's what it is, outside the script. I would like to talk about stuff that's outside the normal script. Yeah, so I'm just talking about people who could definitely come, and so there was a few of us that would meet, and the one woman, she was a little older than me, and she had a lot of the physical tired and problems and stuff I had, and I am not sure if she's still alive, frankly, because I emailed her and there was no response, and like a year ago, and I can't find any activity from her. And I'm just not sure on her. I just have this feeling that maybe not. The younger one, this was the beginning of the QAnon thing, was the last time I saw her, and she was so into that, and that is all she wanted to talk about. She didn't really want to talk about Mandela's. She wanted to talk about QAnon. And then she was sort of like, I can't believe you're not into QAnon, because I would have thought you would be. And I'm like, I'm not really. And I guess she didn't want to talk about anything after that. I mean, I didn't like say anything bad about QAnon. I just wasn't into it at all. I found an excellent quantum explanation of the Mandela effect, what happens to us, and how parallel timelines exist. I mean, is that the many worlds one where at decision points the timeline split? Is it that one? You'd be shipped off to the loony bin. Yeah. yeah. You got to talk about this stuff with the right people, certainly. If it's not like one of you guys or somebody I know who can handle it, I'll just be like, oh, there's this weird thing. It's called the Mandela effect. It's kind of weird. I go, oh my God, the times are magically changing. Even though I'm thinking it, I don't say it, because then they'll run. They'll run for the hills. I know better than that much. I may be not that great at social skills, but I do know to not scare the crap out of people. I do think that timelines are like melding, because it just seems like I'm from this timeline, you're from this timeline, now we're in this one. There's like stuff is added all the time, it just seems like. Now maybe some splits off too, but speaking of missing, because there are a few things missing, but one thing I noticed is, did YouTube, is that YouTube? Weird noise. No, that would be Signal. No, it would be YouTube. Wait, oh my God. Which one was I using? I think that was both. The emojis, at least for Signal, the emojis are all different now, because I've gone through them and did they all of them use the same batch of emojis? Because there was before an emoji I got on my phone, and I would get it on Signal, and it was fireworks shooting up, and there was lines, and then there was multiple like psh, 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 things, right? Like that was the emoji. And then there was one where a girl did this handstand flip thing that looked really fun, and the fireworks emoji is gone. Quantum secrets, interesting. The fireworks emoji is gone, and there are other handstand ones, but not that girl. And then I noticed some other super weird ones I've never seen. So I'm like, I don't know if they just like redid all their emojis for Christmas or what. Okay, so, you guys are talking about that Amami goth rabbit. So here's a prediction. There's a couple things, okay? First of all, I noticed some of them have like a piece missing here. Like there's fur missing on the neck. So at first I thought that was like a tumor or something. But then I saw, and I don't think this is the same guy here. And there's some missing there on that one. So even though like I got that image with the big chunk missing around the neck on that one, and I clicked on that link and it didn't say anything about the giant fleshy spot on the neck. So like it just seems kind of weird that you would put that up and not talk about why he's missing a bunch of fur. So I think that we'll see that on more, and an explanation will come up. That's one thing. I cannot find an explanation. I don't know if they fight. They got some kind of musk glands. There's a disease going around. I don't know what it'll be, but I suspect that we'll see more with that. The other thing I suspect we'll see is that they're called the goth rabbit, but right now they look pretty boring. Other than maybe kind of being having a big body. See, that one has a little bit of a big body, but they're not that exciting. So I predict that they'll get weirder. And that is really not that risky of a prediction, considering everything else. But I just don't feel they're really weird enough for their moniker yet, though. I wonder if anything's going to stop getting weirder. Everything that was even already weird managed to get weirder. Okay, this is, oh, that San Diego weasel. Yeah, there it is. So, in the last few years, my Cato has caught 2 of these. Long-tailed, yes. And I don't know why, but this is another weird thing. The cat at home, when he catches these, this is the only thing he will put by my truck. Like, every other creature he gives to Dave. Now, Dave feeds him, and he sleeps with Dave, and this all makes total sense. Dave is the main caretaker of the cat. But for some reason, if he gets a weasel, he gives it to me. I don't know why. Somebody go in his little brainiac and ask him what's up. Okay, so this is talking about polecat, which I remember being skunks, and only skunks. The name is applied to several species with broad similarities to European polecats. Oh, none of it is fat. The European, known as the black polecat and the forest polecat, is a mustelid species in Europe, in the Rif Mountains. What a fatty. Usually these things are skinny beans. He is not a skinny bean. I mean, he's not a fatty for a animal, but he is a fatty for a polecat. Or for a ferret-based beast. All right. European pole. Can we have another image of these guys? I want to see if they're all pudgy. Is it just fur? Is he big boned or is he actually plump? European polecat. Okay, he's not that fat. Maybe he was all smooshed together or something. Maybe that one was domestic and really pudgy. Alright, so what? It just looks like a ferret then. So a polecat is basically some kind of ferret now. It used to be that it was a skunk. Okay, this one. This is from Vivian Mercier, 777. Pear Pangles statues. I don't know if you've heard of the Horsemen of Pear Pangles. And it's like over by India. Have you ever seen these? Okay, this one I think was removed from its original location, but you can see it really good. And the first thing is like, almost all of these are 3 weird dudes on a horse that's weird. Because the horse has a really skinny neck and a big fat head. And all of this stuff on like the contraptions for riding, controlling the head, look about right. Usually there is like a round thing and then the bit through the mouth, and then that actually looks like kind of one of the... There's different contraptions and some of them are harsher on the horse's mouth than others. This one looks like a nicer one. Like the kind that doesn't hurt the horse as much, right? And it's actually pretty accurate. But then you have a mouth that is like ridiculously creepy and weird. They did all this strapping fairly realistically, fairly accurately. This might be a little big, but you can make it big just to be like cool looking. But then the ears are dinky. Like they could just make them flop over, but they got these little boink ears The head is too big. The mouth is way too long. Like, it should end. And then you look at these people. Okay. Let me see. I think I have a close-up. Usually there's 3. Occasionally there's 2. Like, why? And then they go from largest to smallest, usually. I think all of them do. But the other thing is, like, you could say maybe it's all stylized or something. Maybe big heads were in or something. But look at these dudes. I mean, look at that schnoz, all right? Does that look like a human to you? I mean, like, this looks more like a horse than that looks like a human. I mean, look at the nose. I don't think that's supposed to be a human. Now, I do think these are supposed to be riders because you can see that there's arms here. They're holding a thingy. Here's the legs, and they're like, and then there's like a blanket here, and then the legs sit. And I think that this is the schmuck or the overcoat is flopping to the side. So, well, they got dinky heads. I don't know, but it does look like they're riders. And then there's some fringy tassels, but they're also people. So that's kind of weird. But then the tail is really weird because a horse's tail comes out more down here. And like these ones, it comes up like almost on the top of his butt. Now, it is kind of popular in some cultures to have a tail for the horse. It's considered pleasing when the tail comes up very high and flows. So maybe it's just stylized, like I've got the best horsey. And then you got these thick legs, but this super skinny head. I don't know. It's just weird. But then if you really look, these are all the same shape. Here, 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 and here, starting. I don't know. There's just something strange about these dudes. But the nose is what really got me. I have never seen these things before. All right, so it was somewhere on here they're like one of those, no, almost nobody knows about these, blah, blah. That's why you didn't know about it, because nobody ever talks about them, and it's really strange. Kind of the usual yammer that we're used to seeing. Okay, so a lot of them, another thing that was weird is a lot of them had the 3 bumps, but then, like, the tops are missing, but they're sort of sheared off. Like, maybe they had glued parts together or something, because the tops, usually when stone breaks, it's all erratic, and, it doesn't just kind of, it's not like a bone where the top pops off, and these are just like, they all popped off so evenly. It just doesn't make sense. Like, they all popped off right there, I think. Like, why would the stone fail there but not there? Unless there's somehow some glued thingies or something. Now, of course, it's not supposed to be, but the horsemen of Pir Panjal are a group of rock sculptures and reliefs found at similar locations at the foot of the Gallus or on the main galley itself. I think those are mountains. Oh, what, kitty? Are you mad I'm talking to myself again? Ah, is it awful? You want to go out? It's raining. Yeah. Hold on. She's over here whining. And she's going to whine when she sees it's raining like crazy. Oh, you don't want to go out? You just want me to shut the F up? Yeah. Here, you want to go out here? I don't think you do. Yeah, I didn't think so. You are disturbing my show, kitty. This cat here. You have to pay the cat tax for disturbing everybody. Right, kitty? Yep. She's pretty chill right now because she knows she doesn't want to go outside. When she wants to go outside, she's like, put me down. They probably served a navigational purpose on the routes that they are found on. Okay, so let's see. There's one. I don't know. Where's the backs? Okay, now there was these two. There's other stuff here. couldn't really see a close-up. Local gods, they said. Let me look at these to see if I can find it. Open image. You don't really get a good view of local gods. Hair in my mouth. One thing I'll say is these ones, this guy looks like he has a more normal nose than those ones we saw before. I mean, I guess it's hard to tell when it's front on. Like, my nose could be this long and you wouldn't really be sure until I turned to the side, but still, it's suspicious that looks like there's like what goats under the feet of this one. This one is way more stylized too. Oh, strange. Okay, well. Anyway, so these things, anybody ever heard of these things? Seen them? Yeah, see here, it looks like they broke off evenly or something. And then, you know, the other thing that gets me is like, okay, so these ones, it looks like all the heads broke off. Right here, right here, right here. Oh, and the horse's head did break off on that one. Yep, okay. See where the tail comes out? Way on the top of the butt. These are so smooth on the top. It's just weird. It's like they were glued on and the glue popped off. You see what I mean? Like, they just didn't break off in a normal way. And this horse, I almost feel like this horse was done by somebody who hasn't actually seen a horse in real life, maybe, because he's got like a person's butt. The tail's in the wrong spot. Maybe that's what it is. They didn't know what a horse really looked like, or those aren't horses. I mean, I guess, yes, it could be just some weird stylized thing, but you know, these days I just I have a suspicion that some of these things are meant to be more literal. Maybe not all of them, but okay, so see, there's more horses there. The legs look pretty good, but they have these giant dinosaur heads. See if I can make that one bigger. They have that skinny neck and the world's biggest head. I've never seen a horse with like a way bigger head than their neck. It's just not a thing. And then they have those little cat ears. They don't really have horsey ears at all. They could, if they didn't want to draw the ears, if they didn't want to make them out of stone, they could just, you know, carve them in along the back of the head or something. Why put cat ears on there? Those guys look more normal. They don't look like they have 50-foot snaz noses. All right, you know, I'm kind of curious about, let me see if I can find some more images of these things. And these things were also there, like weird walls. Horsemen of the Pyramid. So there's more than one location of these too. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at that one. So each one is a little different style. This one doesn't have the extra people for fringe. A little bit different head harness, but still fairly accurate. Then there's like the towel. There's usually some kind of towel thing. People seated. See, look where the tail comes up. It's crazy. So, see, again, it's like it just flopped. It's weird. And if these just came off here, then why didn't the horse head come off there? Why are the horse heads always falling off? It's almost like these are segments and then they fall off in segments. So their completed dudes are over here. They do have the big noses, but some of the noses fell off. Here, they all fell off mid. Looks like the top of the head. Square heads. Okay. Actually, I'm looking at this. It looks like they have some kind of spears or something. Pointy. I almost want to say it looks like might be arrows. Because, you know, when they do the arrows, they kind of hold it like this. It kind of looks like that guy's running the horse. And then this guy's got a bow and arrow, maybe. And then this guy's got a bow and arrow. What horse, though, can you put 3 people on that's long like that? What, cat? What do you want? You don't want to go out? I already showed you. What horse can you put 3? You can't really put 3 on... unless these guys are midgets. But, because a horse can... unless it's some kind of specialty horse, you really can't carry more than, like, maybe 250, 300 pounds. Even that's pushing it. If it's a beastie war horse, you could put like 400 on there, but their backs aren't long enough for 3 people, unless it's midget people. Maybe these are midget people. Interesting. So they have a different style of the harness here. See, the thing is, these styles of these harnesses, each one's different, but they're all legitimate styles. So here, this will go, and there'll be a little bit that goes between the teeth here, and then this whole contraption holds that bit so that it doesn't get too uncomfortable unless the horse pulls, and then it kind of pulls on the side of the lip, and they're like, okay, I won't do it. So that's kind of how that's done. But there is all... each one is different. So it's like this part is legit, but yet the horse's mouth is weird. Their snouts are weird. They have this weird pushed forward. They look like Lego men. But you know, like, it would have been easier to do the head without the giant schnoz. So I don't see how they were lazy. They would... you know, do it better than... they look like Lego people. And this looks like a Gumby horse. It's Lego people on a Gumby horse. All right, cat. You gonna go out come hell or high water? There you go. You gonna go out? You gotta go out. Knew that's coming, and she'll probably want to come in again soon too, because it really sucks out there. But she's been in for a long time. Yes, those are the Lego people on the Gumby. And see, like here is, I would assume this is clothing, but is it like giant butts? I'm assuming that this is clothing. I like the idea of it being clothing, and it seems to match this stuff, but I don't think I can make... no, can't make it bigger. Okay, so I do believe that these are bow and arrow holders on this one, on their Gumby horses. Yeah, so I don't know, this is kind of an interesting style. You know, there was like maybe 3 or 4 kind of mysterious monument things. Well, maybe 6 or 7, okay, when I was a kid. And a lot of those, the mystery has been somewhat solved, but in their place, there's like 150 new ones, and this is another example of that. I don't know. Yeah, see, I hadn't even read your thing, Vivian, but you know horses. Unless they're midget people. They're midget people. You could put them. That's a weird looking horse, though. To me, it seems like changes in timelines are deliberate, but that's just my opinion. I do feel that they follow our desires because there's just been too many times where somebody's favorite thing showed up doubles. In fact, that actually happened to me like about 2 weeks ago. Is I have one Craftsman drill, and I swear I only ever brought one Craftsman drill here, and the other day I'm like sorting stuff out, and then I'm like, oh, I thought I had my drill over there, and I go to put it over where it goes, and there's already one there. Now, true, they're the same freaking drill too. They look identical, except for one has a battery and one doesn't. But it's exactly the same drill. It just, what the heck? So all the more weird because the charger died. So I have batteries and I have two drills now, but no charger. So I don't have to look for a charger. I'm trying to decide if I should look for a charger, buy it, and then sell out the whole thing together, or if I should just, because we're sort of gone Ryobi. So the problem is if you have mix and match, then you have to mix. Each one needs its own kind of battery. You can't use Ryobi batteries on the Craftsman. So in the end, we ended up just going, we'll just buy all Ryobi, everything, including a bunch of Ryobi batteries. But I still have this, I thought it was one Craftsman drill until 2 weeks ago. I would have been doing this job for like 10 years and I didn't know I had two. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible, but it's pretty freaking weird. Especially because I have a place for my drill. So whenever the drill is not there, I put it back where it goes. So if there had been two drills floating around, then long ago I should have found the second one and brought it back over and went, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, I feel like I'm being trolled. I'm extra trolled because I can't use either one of them now because I don't have a charger. So that's task for this year. Dave wanted to throw them out, but I'm like, the batteries are perfectly fine. The drills are perfectly fine. Did there used to be a cigarette smoking emoji? I do remember a cigarette smoking emoji. And yeah, the handstand one. And then there's this one that has a big zero. That was, let me see if these ones here, hold on. Do we have can I get the emojis on here? Here, they're here. Emojis. Okay, here we go. That's about not useful at all. Okay, let's see. Does this one have the same emojis? No, these ones are all unique to YouTube here. I don't usually do YouTube emojis. Those... Okay. Yeah, I think each one has their own emoji. So maybe Signal did an upgrade or something. Because I know there's this weird sun one that I'm not seeing on here. I'm seeing one similar to it, but there's a sun one on Signal now that's all bumpy. And I don't even know why. I guess it's the sun rays or something. It's kind of cool, but it also just looks like it's got a virus. And that one's solely new for me. So I'm like, do you have that one on here? So it goes in with these, but it's a sun. What? Now I'm not even seeing the one I just saw. Urgh. You know, it's not helping that this is so tiny. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, interesting. So this one has some, unless it's just magically changed at the other one. Like this one, I don't remember the star with that goes around and Signal. It showed up on there. And then Signal has one that has it like it's got some kind of black thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be like one of these quote boxes things, and then it has a big 0 in it. It's kind of like that, but the middle of the 0 is white again. So I don't know. So the box is black, like that would be black, and then the 0 is white, and then the center is black again. It's like that. And so I don't see that one here. Let me see if I can see that those other ones that are missing. It's definitely not in animals. Not there. Not buildings. All right, let me just try fireworks here. Yeah, no. So this one doesn't have it either. I thought they all had it because I thought my phone had it too. So this is the only fireworks one now. It's just one explosion. That's weird. It's bugging me that that fireworks one is gone. It should be multiple lines where it's shot up and then multiple explosions, and they're not that dense. And it's like yellow, orange, and red colors mostly. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. What happened to the China CERN? Well, there's like a million freaking particle accelerators now, right? So I actually never heard anything about a China CERN, so ironically that is a little bit more like the missing emoji. A little bit. All right, China has been a contributor to CERN's research efforts, including key components like magnets. The CERN's director has acknowledged China's crucial role. All right, all right, China has plans for the... All right, so if it was only plans a year ago, it would probably take a number of years to have that happen unless it goes backwards in time. Construction could begin in 2027. It would take around a decade. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if a year and a half from now they'll announce it was done and they started work 10 years ago, but... All right, so it has to get into the Chinese budget. And at the time of this article, it had not. These patties are taking 1,000,000 years to unfreeze. So what I do is I put them in a plastic bag, and then I put the plastic bag in a bowl of warm water, and then I drip warm drip of water directly onto the patty, the bag that holds the patty, and that keeps the water warm. And then it takes about 20 minutes and they're defrosted, maybe less if I want them. I mean, you can stick them in the microwave, but then the taste, you know how it is. San Diego's got its own, it's not a ferret, it's a weasel. Yeah, it's a weasel, long-tailed weasel. They have it now. That showed up a couple years ago for me, that long-tailed weasel. So I used to be on Nextdoor, which is kind of a chit-chat for only locals can go in, and somebody actually posted, like, what is this thing? And then most people are like, I don't know, what is it? Maybe it escaped from a zoo. But then the couple of the reality shills are like, oh, that's a long-haired weasel. Yeah, they're native, blah, blah, blah. The rest of us are like, what? It's a what? Yeah, I don't like to wait for my stuff to defrost. So, with, you know, observing others and stuff. We used to do that at the restaurant a lot too. We would just, like, say your juice is frozen like a rock and the juice machine is almost out. We would just put warm water and then we put the bucket of juice in the warm water. And it's actually a violation of the health codes to do this because they're like, oh, you know, the temperature is not perfect to preserve it. But I mean, it's freaking juice and it's going to get drank in an hour. So we really weren't worried. But if the, like, we weren't worried about it actually hurting anything. But if the inspector showed up right when we were doing it, we would lose points. They are actually quite picky. Sounds like you're remembering emoticon from MSN. I don't think I even knew emojis in 2008. So if I remember it, I don't think, and I did not use MSN. So I don't think I'm remembering anything. I kind of remember somebody going like this, but I don't really remember it being a smiley face. And I remember it being a view on like this. Like there was a face and like a cigarette. And there was a little bit of smoke coming up. That's what I remember for... I'm trying to remember the... But I remember the expression as more sort of like, I'm cool or something. Like, it's cool. I could see them getting rid of it for obvious reasons. But alright, so the Horsemen of the Panjers. I guess I just... Somehow I started liking horses. I don't know if it's another timeline me. I didn't used to like them that much. I just think it's funny that these ones have like human butts. And the tail should come out here, not back here. That's ridiculous. It's freaking even in front of the edge of the claw. Come on. Come on, people. Okay, so Jackie talked about this one. It's Lady Amherst pheasant. Now, Lady Amherst pheasants have been around for me for quite some time. At least since I've sold here, I've known about them. But I do... It's interesting that you brought it up because just like a couple weeks ago, I actually sell the feathers for these. They're like a really common bird. And, there's been some issues in the last few months because I'm like, the feather pattern looked weird. And then I was trying to get more. And then I was like, maybe I can find a better deal. And then I was looking at feathers. I'm like, is that them? Because somehow none of them looked right. Like, I'm looking at mine. I'm looking at the images. I'm like, I can't even tell if those are the same kind because everything looks wrong. So I finally was like, I don't have time for this before Christmas. I'll just buy it from my regular people. So then the next time I pulled them out, because I do sell these pretty often, a bunch of them had this weird orange coloration on the side. And I'm like, there's not any that are supposed to have that, this orange here. And they all have it now. So it's an old batch I bought a long time ago. And so I'm like, this must be an ME, that some of them have a bunch of freaking orange now. So that was the main Mandela. You can see the orange there. Cough. So Jackie doesn't remember this bird. I do remember this bird, but I don't remember it being this whack-doodle. For sure, the old lady, and you can see some of them orange ones sticking out. The old Lady Amherst did not have these weird yellow ones like randomly poking out the side like some bratty kid poked in the wrong color feather or something. That was for sure not a thing. That is like so freaking ridiculous that I don't even know what to say. Okay, so for sure they didn't have that. So what I remember about these then is that they also didn't have this like red and yellow so much. They had like blues and greens, and then that would fade over into these feathers that were like that, basically. Maybe not that orange. Okay, so here's this typical, but you see how much orange is on some of them. And I do think that the pattern has kept morphing, and that's been part of what's been confusing the crap out of me. Which is a Lady Amherst and which isn't, and blah, blah. But yeah, there's something off with all this red and this yellow, and they weren't that white either. Like, they had the pretty color feathers, and then they had some of this cloud lining thing, but it wasn't pure white, and there wasn't this black stripe, and then they did have the iridescent blues and greens around the middle, but this one has red, so it's like a freaking rainbow thing now. Is green, red, white, green, yellow, red, blue. So yeah, that was not how they were. Look at this ridiculous beast. There sure as heck wasn't this red cap on there. So they have definitely upgraded their little selves. Who knows? Like, we got this now. What are we going to get in 10 years? So, you know, if you saw this thing 10 years ago, I think you go, oh, that's kind of a pretty bird. But I don't think you'd be like, what in the F is that? Like you do now. Okay, speaking of cartoons, Jackie brought up the subject of Batman, and it's interesting because I was like trying desperately to make progress in my stocked lack of catching up, but so I started on the more recent ones, and I did not read the one where she talked about this. So last time we talked about this, I'm like, wait a minute, he has giant yellow belt. I don't remember having giant yellow belt. Okay, so then Jackie mentioned it and said something about it. And I actually think it's changed again in multiple ways, but the most obvious way is that there's now a gold belt buckle. And I just remember them being this stupid orange crap, yellow crap, I should say. In fact, I do think the color has changed because it should be there. That's better, but I think it was more yellow. There's still an orange tinge to it, but there was not gold. That was just yellow. And I think they were more like puffed out a little bit. Somehow they look different now. There's like kind of a latch on that one or something. I don't know what the hell's going on, but they look a little different. And this little middle line thingy, that is not... I think these squares were a little smaller, and then you just had the middle, and then you didn't have... I think that what this is something that kind of... that you thread in the extra feed from the other side or something, but that wasn't there. But there definitely wasn't this gold middle thing. I say no. I think the other thing that has happened also is I don't think he was so velvety shiny with this part. I think it was a more plain look. He kind of looks like Dracula now in velvet with this and this all shiny. The cape, I don't even think the cape was that shiny, so I don't know. It's just like he's gotten all plushed out, okay? So I was looking at that. I'm like, what's up with that? And then I scrolled along, and then I found out Jackie had said the same exact thing. She's like, I don't think that thing in the middle was there. I'm like, yep. So we're definitely on the same page there with that dude. And then Jackie's elsewhere in the thing talked about Robin. And then and you can see he's got that, I think it's supposed to be a bird. He's got the belt buckle, and then Robin now has a belt and a buckle and a slashies. And I'm trying to desperately remember if Robin had a belt. And I can't, if he had a belt, it might have been like a simple black one, but it did not have these cross hatches. And Jackie also doesn't remember these cross marks. And I think these were buttons before, not like slashy marks. I think there was something there. I think it was buttons. So Robin's been busy shifting, apparently. Robin. I'm just going by the original show because that's the only one I really can say. Here we go. See, look at these slash, whatever it is, stitches marks. Oh, you know what? The other thing I forgot to mention about this bib thing. There was not Like the mask did not come down and then roll out like that. That looks so stupid. And that's something I'm definitely... So you basically had the mask here and then you had the cape. That was it. You didn't have this bib thing. It's bugging me. And it's on the regular one. Oh, that's not very useful. All right, get out of there. So you can see it's here. It's so wrong. I'm positive he did not have the bib thingy. You could see it there. That's ridiculously silly looking. So Batman has been busy. Let me go to Google. There's not many pictures on here. And Robin has been busy. I feel like there's probably 100 more Mandelas today too. I spent like 3 hours on it and I got a lot and I was very efficient but then I was, you know, there's Mandelas everywhere now. Look at how silky that looks. That looks so wrong. Then you got the bib. There's Robin. I am positive on the belt there were not slash marks. And it does, to me, it clashes with the slash marks on here. Part of me wants to accept the slash marks on there, but another part of me says no, it was for sure black buttons. Black buttons right there. Maybe this R, did it get bigger? Is that me? Is it bigger? I also don't think that he had a little cutesy collar thing here. I think he just had the cape and that was it. He didn't have that going on. So he got the cutesy collar and he got a bib. I think that about covers it. I don't know. I might be missing something. Part of me, the eyebrow liner is kind of bugging me. So I do, but I think that might have been there last time. But that eyebrow liner, was that always there? I would not swear to the eyebrow liner being a thing. But see, like there, doesn't that look kind of like too much? Something's wrong. Look at the bib. That's so wrong. The little cutesy collar. It definitely looks better. So it's a little less cheap, except for that on a lot of the images, Batman is kind of blue colored now, which is not good, but it looks bad in blue. Robin's looking better, and Batman is not. Yeah, I don't even know, like, how would you do that instead of having buttons? I mean, it's a vest, so wouldn't you just have buttons? I'm not even familiar with that. I mean, you're going to have, what is it, a corset? I mean, like, it's not even the right crosses for that, so I don't know. Whole belt makes no sense. Yeah, so if you go back to the earlier comics, though, they have all that crap. That belt and everything was all on there, too. So they just copied the comics. Yeah, last time it was just that yellow plasticky looking crap. There was no metal yellow. That looks like a gold metal, like real metal, not plastic. Yeah, and it wasn't quite... It has been expanding for a while, so... It depends on if you saw my last show. It had gotten pretty big by the last show, but the gold was definitely not on there. I mean, it's going to become like a flotation device for children if it keeps up with this. It's going to be... The lizard had a big green collar. You know, I don't know about the other dudes. I'm not as good with those. Did Joker always have green hair? I'm actually curious about that one. I am not 100 on that one. I also don't know if I remember that really nice necklace on Catwoman. I thought that was like kind of a blah necklace. She's got a really nice belt too. I am not sure it was that good. Let's see. How about this one? Do-do-do. The old days. She's got it too, look. What are those even? It looks like they've changed into little mini purses or something. Wait, who did you say had the big, I forgot who we're looking for. See, I thought it was, I don't think it was green. It doesn't look right, green. Red maybe? I don't think it was green though. Green hair is a weird choice. Red or white is normal. I would say one of those two, but not green. She's purple too. I thought she, wait, that's Catwoman. Okay. Purple. I'm a little confused on that. I thought it was black though. Wasn't Catwoman all black, or is that a different one? There's that second character, and I don't remember that one too well. The Riddler had the question mark. I agree with that. The Lizard. Wait, Batman. The original Batman TV show. The Lizard. Oh, okay. I remember that. Did they even have that guy? Oh, yeah, they did. Okay, so yeah, no, I'm not confusing him with a doctor's outfit. I don't think that character was in there that much. Did they have that live version of the... I don't think he was in the live action, was he? I don't remember seeing the Lizard in the live action. You know, our tech sucked back then. They didn't even have good costumes. It would have looked so bad. Like, remember the Slee Stacks? If you're old enough, you'll remember the Slee Stacks from Land of the Lost. And those were so tacky that they're better off not doing it. I remember Lizard with green trench coat. So I don't know. I don't know on that one because I wasn't that much of an expert on the comics. Oh yeah, the elf dude. I'm gonna cover that one. Ah, see, Vivian's asking too. Robin's cape have a collar. Yeah, so. See, I didn't even see yours when I was saying that. See, I love it when that happens because I'll just rattle it out. Oh, I wonder, and then you had said the same thing. There's a lot of Mandelas like that where I'm like, I don't know, maybe, and it's not enough for me to like decide to say it, and then another person says it, and I'm like, I feel exonerated now. It kind of settles my brain, like, yep, it was one. Or it'll change a third time, and that is another clue to me. Ah, Vivian, you don't remember the white on that bird. See? It's the same thing I said. Vivian, you're like from my timeline right now. My timeline neighborhood. Vivian's like mirroring everything I said. I'm over here saying it, and I don't know you're over there saying it. A snow squall is an intense short-lived burst of heavy snowfall that leads to quick reduction in visibility, is often accompanied by gusty winds. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Usually when when there's snow, it's quiet, right? I'm not the snow expert, so I can't go too far on that. I think I was looking at the slee stacks the other day and they looked weird. Let me see. Let me just look at the slee stacks. How do you spell that? Slee stacks. I'm sure they're still tacky, but are they the same tacky? All right, slee stack, and there's no C. I can't say on the spelling because I was just too young. I don't think I knew how to spell slee stacks. Okay. I actually think these are better than my original guys by a long stretch. Yes. These guys are not nearly as hideous. My original guys were so stupid. These guys are... Was that really them? Slee stacks. Oh, okay. I gotta make sure it's the originals. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, that's a little worse. They're still better than I remember, though. Yeah, see those feet? I don't think I had those feet, and I don't think I had that fringy stuff. I don't think so. They look sort of metrosexual now, don't they? With these, they're like on stilts. Interesting. Yeah, I think they have like these scales that poke out. That is an improvement because I don't think my guys had that. I think this is the remake here. These are the originals. I would really freak out if they stopped looking silly and dorky. They still look silly and dorky. I don't even remember that tail, to be honest. Huh. And the coloration is better now. I don't remember them stomachs being yellow. So I remember the green being a little more like gray green, and then not having the yellow at all, and there was no red. The suit was so bad. I just remember it being way worse than this. This is actually not nearly as hideous. I'm actually kind of glad because they were so cringe. I think I didn't like them just because they were so stupid looking. Like, the character was okay, but they were bad guys and they were really stupid. Yeah, see, Shari. Thank you. Thank you. I'm over there saying it and you're over here. I kind of like today because there's been a bunch of that. You're over here saying... Okay, I remember slee stacks with orange glowy eyes. I am not sure on that one. I thought the eyes were a little smaller, but I wouldn't stick my neck out on that. Yeah, they were not a bright green. Exactly. They were sort of a dull khaki green. It was like a military green. Not like a mint greens salad green. I mean, because all of the dinos back then were painted that one color, right? Like that blah green. Australia used to be called New Holland. See, now, in my timeline, there was a country called Holland already. And a lot of people remember this, Mandela, who are older, like myself, that we were taught Holland was a country, and then later they said, no, that country is the Netherlands. And Holland now is just a section in the Netherlands, but we were always told that's Holland, Holland, Holland. And then when I was in 6th grade, they started saying that's the Netherlands. I'm like, well, why did they change it? And the teacher's, I don't know. So it's the Netherlands, but you can write Holland if you want. And for a while, I did write Holland because you know what? I didn't like that they're freaking changing it for no good reason in my mind. And because Holland is like way easier to write into a tiny spot, it's smaller. I didn't have to worry about the spelling. Yeah, so you Netherlands people, you're Holland. Sorry, in my old timeline. I used to think Holland and the Netherlands were the same thing, because they were. And it sure as heck wasn't freaking Australia. They're trolling us again with this. But polecats are actually skunks for like so long. Oh no, joking. They're actually some kind of ferret thing. What the F? Ugh. And like that new magical white fence thingy, not only did it show up, but the cat was perched on there like a giant godly sphinx. Like, just so I'd notice, I swear. I don't know Land of the Lost. You gotta be like Gen X, because then when you were really little, you would have watched it. Because it was kind of a corny show for like pretty little kids. And there wasn't a lot of shows back then, you know, so... It wasn't my favorite show either. Yeah, 70s. It was cheesy, yeah. I mean, even for the 70s, it was a little cheesy. But like I said, if nothing else was on, which was fairly often, yeah, it was better than staring at the wall. Yeah, I'm not sure on the eyes, though. I don't remember the yellow belly and the bright green and then the little flippy scales. The flippy scales are better. The yellow belly is a little silly, but overall, the new old ones are a lot better. Australia's New Holland. I'll get there someday and they'll be like, what do you mean Australia is just the colloquial term? It's always been officially Holland. I mean, a lot of them are like that now. They're like, well, that's just, it's not Statue of Liberty. It's actually Statue of Liberty of the blah, 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 blah. I can't even remember all that other crap that her real name is. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Don't gaslight me. What is the full name? I try not to push out my old memories with a stack of new ones. The full name is Statue of Liberty is Liberty. Wait. The full. So it's not Statue of Liberty. It's just Liberty. And wait a fucking. No, it's. So that's not even the name. The thing I just said is now true. I thought it was Statue of Liberty Enlightening the World. Now it's called Liberty Enlightening the World. That's the actual name. So, Statue of Liberty is not the name of the Statue of Liberty now. That's just a colloquial... The thing I just said! Oh my god, this is... it's creepy. Okay. It's getting a little creepy with that. Okay. Yeah, la liberté éclairant le monde, which means liberty. Well, see, now that means the liberty enlightened the world. But in English, it's just liberty enlightening the world. Oh, God. So, oh, God. The name of Statue of Liberty is not Statue of Liberty. That's bugging me! I'm going to write that one down. It was, before, at least it had the. So, basically, they took the off of it now. Little brats. This is how it is. It just, it eats away at the old reality, and then it tacks new crap, and then and then the next thing you know, it's like this whole new thing. It's like if you have a piece of cheese and you keep removing a chunk of cheese and adding a different chunk of cheese, and then it goes long enough, and you have a whole different block of cheese. If all that new cheese you add is a different color than the old cheese, pretty soon you just have a block of new cheese. So, let's see. Does anything look different? Oh, she does not look happy right now. She looks very crabby. She looks both like she got punched in the face and she's gonna cry, but she's also kind of pissed. Dang. So I would say the facial expression has changed. Okay. That's one fake looking image if ever I saw it. Look, I think the folds in here are deeper. She no happy. It doesn't look as bad from the bottom, but I know I've seen the images a lot of times of her head standing on the ground. Let's see. Oh, the nose. What the hell? She looks like a brow ridge from Cro-Magnon era in here. What the heck? Hold on a second. Okay, there's been some changes. This girl. What is this? What are all these lines and wrinkles? Is this the real one? What's this crap? What the F? Wait a minute. Okay, maybe there's her like rust stains or something, but it looks all wrinkly in here. And the nose. The nose. Look at how wide it is right there. One, two, three, four. Still 7 of those. What the hell, people? Wait a minute. Okay. Can't tell much from there. Oh. See, there's like this weird ridge thickness here. Like, she's got ptosis, basically. This is the same thing I got, where these, my eyes used to be, like, buggied out. Like, Caucasians were bug eyes. That was kind of the unfriendly colloquial term for Asians was, you know, SLANT eyes. And then for white people, it was bug eyes, you know, and people were pretty chill about that as long as it wasn't meant meanly and you were friends. You could say those things. But yeah, so, but now white people's eyes are back usually. They're usually not bug eyes. So I used to have the bug eyes, but now they're back. And then they went back so far that like this part flops down and it's called ptosis. And some people now in this reality have to have that crap tacked back up. Now I've gotten some of my health back and this eye that flops has reversed a little of its flop. I'm hoping I can get the rest of it out. But this now Statue of Liberty has that thing that I have, which is ptosis, which is these lid middles are coming down, and maybe the eye got deeper, but it's like she's got ptosis, freaking ptosis. I feel like I'm very trolled because since I have this too, and I was hoping to get rid of it. Yeah, look. Wait, what's wrong with her eyes? Are they just flat? She did not have flat eyes before. They were carved like in an eye shape. Now, way back, my original statues all had just, like they didn't carve the iris in and stuff. It would just be the lids and then just, so they all look kind of dead, right? But they absolutely do not do that in this timeline. Now, did she get that back? Because it kind of, maybe there's something in there. Gosh, her eyes, they're so flat. Okay, there's a little, weird. It almost looks like they took a thing and went, chick, chick. Look at how dark these stains are. Holy crap. Is that all of them like that? Is that real? That may be AI. It looks too perfect. I think that might be AI. It's getting hard to tell now. Yeah, her eyes are weird. It looks like they took a bottle cap and just went. Okay, eyes are done. That is not how they were before. Come on, this AI thing is pissing me off. Okay, so there has been changes in, what was the name of that freaking thing again? It's now called Liberty, wait. Whatever. Do I even want to learn it? Liberty enlightening the world. Okay, there we go. See, I thought it was the Statue of Liberty enlightening the world. And then we just shortened it, which I still called baloney on. But now, no, they took the statue of out. That's what they have removed. Stealing mustache. It already looks totally different. Guess what's the name? All right. Statue of Liberty face. There's like a million Mandelas right now. I could probably sit here all freaking night and like rattle off because I haven't even put a big dent in. That doesn't even look real. Look at how pouty lips. She looks, man, the pouty lips. She looks petulant. Is that really her? She looks totally petulant right now. The lips, those are wrong. She looks like she smelled something bad. She's like, oh. Smells bad. Quit it. The eyes are fading out. What happened to the eyebrows, too? They kind of suck. Oh. They just look like they put a couple flat caterpillars up there. They're just not really carved in the way they were. It's like a... it's like a cartoon, isn't it? Like a kind of low-grade cosplay. That's not her, is it? Look at... Is that her? Replica. Okay, but that's kind of how it is. Yeah, the eyebrows, it's just like a plate of crap that they plastered on, and then there's this big fat effing nose. But that's how those eyebrows look. They used to be like crafted. Now they're just like, I'll cut out this shape, and then I'll just go... It's so cheesy. All right, those are replicas, I'm sure, but still, this is ridiculous. I gotta go dig up those old images that I used to use for the indicator photos. Yeah, her face. This is so wrong. Her nose is huge. Her eyebrows looks like Neanderthal. Look at that. Is that really her? Photographs. Look at those eyebrows. Look at, so there's like this big old thing, and then there's just this. So they just basically cut out like a fat eyebrow and then a thinner eyebrow, and then they just clamped them on. It's terrible. I hope you guys are seeing this, because I'm like, what? This is Lord Eiffel's mother's face. The windows in the crowd. Okay, I'll look at that. He is the new she. Everybody looks more similar now. Unfortunately, I do have, she did have a very feminine face. A very regal, aristocratic, feminine face. She did not look like a petulant, pouty-lipped whiner. Elvis. Come on, don't insult Elvis. Yeah, it's been a man for a while. At least you can't tell it apart, but... Alright, let's see. I'm glad I looked. This is so wrong. Yeah, the lips have very much changed. Okay, the windows. We're talking about the windows. Okay. Now, I haven't read what you said about the windows and they look different. My feeling on the windows is they are taller. There are more of them. They take up more of the space up here. So overall, you just see more window going on because they're... Like, if this was a headband, the headband is taller and it's wider. And those windows, I don't remember them being that. Actually, the windows are, like, better looking, though, overall. I can't say I love all that extra crown now that you mention it, because I think it distracts. You know what? I think some of her forehead is missing, actually. She used to have a lot more visible forehead. That is for sure. Yep. So the hair was higher. Man, she kind of looks like... Which one of those from the Three Stooges had that hair like that? Like the bowl cut? Her hair poofies out now. Okay, so I would say that the crown was up back on the head more. And then there was more forehead. And then the hair did not bulge out like that. Let's see this one. This one really shows. There's like this. This one really shows it. It's not her, obviously, but it really accentuates the stuff. Look at this. Like anime eyebrows or something. This is this huge bulgy thing. The eyebrows. So bad. All right. Look at that. That's awful. Okay, so yeah, there's just more window. And so like the windows now, they have this nice curved, linear, aesthetically appealing edges more than... They were a little bit more like rough hewn, I would say, before for me. So even though... See how big they look on there? I think that there were more cross piece and less... And you know, and less window. Look at... See, like that looks ridiculous because it's too much. Just getting the Egyptian look or something. Are we going to get that? Like... She looks like a Dalek or something. Yeah, that's way too much. It's way too much. Dang, really looks like a man there. Man. You know, I wish I had been looking at this earlier when she first started shifting, because since I started watching the Mandela, I keep looking at it over and over, so I've locked in the look a lot more. So when it does change, I can see it. The first Mandelas, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Did it look like that? But then I spent a lot of time looking at it. So all future ones, now I'm much better at IDing it. Yeah, I didn't even get to the rest of her. Okay, hold on. From behind. Whoops. Let's see what's in the back. I wanted to check the hair for one. I think something's changed here too with this hair. There's more like stuff. Something's different over here. There's like this bulge. So there was like a blob here, but I don't think there was a second fold over blob here, and I don't think this back area was like that. Something's different here. First of all, that, but something's different about that. Looks like she has a hollowed out back of the neck too, which I don't recall. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? I feel like there might be more layers of cloaking back there too. Like there's a lot going on that I don't remember there being this much bumbles here. There's this one. It's like there's more bumbles than I recall. You know what it is? So like, yeah, I get it. Okay. She looks like she's got too much clothing on now. Like before the number, like maybe 6 months ago, the amount of wrapping just seemed like kind of a normal amount. But now it looks like they made it too big and they just clumped it on her. She's like weighed down with 10 million. Look at, there's too many drapes on there. There's too many layers. There's a completely unnecessary level of, and like, look at the arms. You don't need arms as big, 5 layers of it. So that's why it looks, look at, it's so baggy. That's why it looks ridiculous. It's like she's got 5 togas on. You know, so when I'm looking at her at the back, the spikes looks different. And I think the way it was before was that the spikes were up more like this. So now they look like the hair pieces that come out. Like when you got a bumble and then you just stick in like a chopsticks or something. It looks more like that because the angles. And before I think it was up like this. So the angle is a lot more pushed down forward, I think, than it was. Now, from the bottom, you're not going to be noticing it, but we look at most of our, see, like, it's like a spaceship on her head now. No. Okay, not real. Could we see her ear before? I thought it was all hair. I don't think I remember seeing her ear before. I thought one of these hair baubles came down and hid all the ear. I don't recall seeing ear. I think that's new. The whole ear thing is new. I don't think I saw ear before. This hair was pretty... Because remember there was dangle boobles that came down. So yeah, I think the ear is new. Yeah, she's been busy. Alright, so she... See, that's so... There's so much. I feel like, you know, if you fell in the water, you'd drown because there's so much clothing. Okay, there's the feet. What are these? Okay, so I remember... Wait, the shackle's still broken, right? Let's see, Statue of Liberty, shackles. So I don't originally remember there being shackles. That's a Mandela for a lot of people. Shackles. But they're broken. Even this looks weird. Okay. Let's look at this one. Come on. No, give me the whole thing. World's smallest image. Give me a bigger one, bigger one. that looks different too. What is going on with that foot? It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes, but then there's a lump there. What is going on? I'm trying to get a look at that foot because it looks strange. I remember the old shoe, and don't feel so. Like this foot, I thought that this clothing hid the shoe. Like, I don't remember there looking like a strap of shoe there on this one. I think this fabric went and you just saw toes. You didn't see, like, it just looks kind of weird there. I'm sure that wasn't that way. It was down there. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the other foot, though. Okay, that's not the original, but at least it'll give me an idea what's happening. Hopefully. All right, this might do it. Is this it? All right, there's a foot, and then there's just a shackle way over here. That doesn't seem right. Did archaeologists really find a secret message? Or is it clickbait? Is that the island now? Where'd all this green crap come from? Wasn't all green, was it? Did they just change it? Okay, yeah, that looks better. Maybe that's a really old one, because now there's all these buildings and stuff in here. That must be an old one. Don't scare me. Trying to get a look at that foot. I feel like the shoe might have changed. Statue of Liberty. Foot. Yeah, I think there's definitely been some changes in how the feet are. That just looks so wrong. I don't know what is happening there, and then I can't find a decent image of that. Let's try this one. That's not, it's just not how it looked before. I think I'm trying to see what's over here, but I can't find a single image that really shows it from like a side view. See, as I don't remember what is this, these little raised areas. I don't remember that being on there. Okay. I think the style of shoe has changed, that there's some kind of weird strap, like heel, and then the strap comes over here. Probably, if I could actually see a full image of it. I might have to try that next time, because I'm just not... When there's a Mandela, it doesn't like to show you the image of the thing. Alright, Caddy wants in. Are you all wet and stinky now, Caddos? Come on in. Oh, how did you stay dry? Yes. Oh, you are a little wet, but not stinky. Somehow she managed to get wet without smelling like wet fur. Are you wet? She's actually purring right now. There you go. Yeah, she doesn't smell like wet cat. I don't know. She's like the odorless cat, which is nice. Statue of Liberty's toes. Yeah. That's weird, because now I don't see that strap there. Maybe that's a replica and they didn't put it in. See, it looks like there's something here that's different. I think it's picked up more, too. Yeah. You can see more of the back heel, and it's picked up more. Yep. And these drapes, they used to be more they used to kind of stop, but now they're kind of flopping. It's just flopping on the ground. Alright, so what about the main pedestal? Yeah. Something's... I think it's got shorter compared to her. For a while, it was the same height as her. We do have these now, but the other thing is, I thought there was this section, and then there was another section of another of these long windows that was smaller up here, and then it ends, and then she stands on it. So now there's only this one real simple. I thought there were more of these too. So she got more of those on her crown, but they're missing from her pedestal. Pedestal got smaller. Yeah. I wonder if we can find a height one again. Doink. That's not real helpful. Okay, let's see. 111. See, this is so sneaky, because if it shifts, they can just change where it goes to. Oh, okay, put it to there. Okay, put it to there. 305. So, you know, the height's about the same, so I'm thinking maybe she got a little bigger and the pedestal got a little smaller, so that the overall height is still about the same. 111, 50. I thought it was 150 here to here, though, but now there. See, why would you start one of them down there? There's no reason to cross. There wasn't one like that before. So it would make sense to start it at the bottom of the green, right? Or you could start it at where her foot touches. But it makes no sense to suddenly start the number halfway down here onto the different colored stone, and then just arbitrarily pick that slot and make a measurement. That makes no sense. And I don't think it was like that before. I think it was up here. So that would kind of indicate that maybe she's a little smaller. But you know what? This height here, maybe these pancakes down here got a little bigger. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I think it is a little smaller, because I think it was 310, but it didn't go all the way to the dirt. I think it went to like maybe the top of the fort. It's interesting, because I don't remember seeing a flag in any of them either. I don't know if they're in a lot of them. So yeah, I think maybe a little bit height missed. I probably could find more stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Cats, yeah, they're not as stinky as dogs, that's for sure, but yeah, that's the problem. They save all their stink up for one giant bomb, but she usually goes outside, so it's not my problem. Barron Trump in a toga. Yeah, he doesn't have a pooshy poofy face though. And he's bony. She's not bony. All right, I'm not biting its bear trunk. Definitely not the same build. Okay, here's another weird beast. God, it's like 220 already. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just burn through these. Himalayan monal, just another really bizarre bird. So many beautiful iridescent birds now. In the Himalayas, you know, usually they have these things like in the tropics, these rainbow birds. Look at the thing. It's ridiculous. I want more awesome feathers to buy if we're going to have 10 bajillion neon dayglow birds. Okay. This and that. I think these are all Jackies, right? Jackie. I have so much energy today. Pheasants. Okay, that pheasant was Jackie. Polecats. Horseman was you. I'll do that one next time for sure. Batman. Okay, that was Jackie. And then this spider is half male, half female, split down the middle. And it's called bilateral gynandromorph. Split down. Where can you get that? This is like some weird anime crap. I'm sorry. How does that even work? I mean, don't you have either two X's or an XY? I don't know. Maybe in spiders it's different since all the DNA is so bizarre, but I feel like it's kind of starting something that it's going to get weird. So, yes, we have bilateral gynandromorph. They named it, so there's going to be more. When it gets a name, there's going to be more. Okay, the Edward Scissorhands poster. Who remembers a yellow butterfly? Because I sure don't. And I said, no, I don't remember you at all. And it's in more than one. It's in that one, and there's a couple others that it's in. Like this one, it's in, okay? And the other thing I actually don't remember is the rest of the scissors being on them. And this one's Chinese, but they all have it. This one just has really good large pixels. But so now there's like all this, the backs of the scissors sort of thing going on. I just don't remember it being that cool. It was just way more cheesy, and that's kind of neat. But I just didn't get that in my time. If they were there, it wasn't all huge like these ones. See, it's like I'm like, what is all this? It's the back of the scissors, I guess. And he has a little mini scissors. I didn't have a little tiny mini scissors. That's cool. You guys got a mini scissors. I think these are a lot better quality scissor hands. See, look, there's like the rest of it. You look, there's a mini scissors. Look at this mini scissors. I did not get a mini freaking scissors. I just got a bunch of big ones. That was it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. It probably is more cool now. Okay. So Jackie found that one. Good fight. This one, Jackie was asking, was that you? Yeah, you were asking about something. Something about Khufu, and I answered it for you because I've already done that Mandela. But while I was looking for your Khufu Mandela one, I saw this, and I kind of have been picking on this for a while, and now it's kind of fleshed itself into reality. But basically it's like, remember I said, hey, look, there's a tunnel going under the Sphinx, and the Sphinx and the three big pyramids are all kind of near each other now, and now there's a whole tunnel network under there. and there's different access ways, and they go 3 levels down. There's 3 different levels of them. And so this is, somebody managed to get in by paying a lot of money, and they're like, oh, well, they never let anybody down there, and they thought nobody even knew, but we knew, and then we offered them a lot of money. So now they got to go down there, take all these photos, and this is the Osiris shaft entrance, so I guess there's multiple of them. I know that we saw one previously in the side of the Sphinx. I don't know if it's still there. One of the levels has the tomb chamber, like there's 2, what do you call those? The tombs, the sarcophagi, yeah. There was 7 niches for 7 sarcophagi in the underground chambers, and some of them were still there and some were missing. Also, Giza was once called Memphis. I'm calling bullcrap on that, but the real name of Giza is Memphis. We're going to see Elvis next, I'm sure. I'm waiting for them to dig up a pharaoh that looks like Elvis. Then on the 3rd level down is water. And then these different underground tombs all like connect, not tombs, tunnels, whatever, all connect, and they're all like intricate network, and they're talking about like almost like a maze, and they don't even know who connects to what, and so now it's like next level tunnel times under there. They're calling it the subway. We discovered a subway used by the ancient Egyptians of 5,000 years ago. It passes beneath the causeway leading between the second pyramid and the Sphinx. It provides means of passing under the causeway from the Cheops pyramid to the pyramid of Khephren. From this subway, we have unearthed a series of shafts leading down more than 125 feet with roomy courts and side chambers. That was Herodotus, I think. Discovered in 1993. There's a whole bunch of crap down here. One of the granite sarcophagi found in the chamber. It is less well known that the Osiris shaft was actually discovered in 1933 by Dr. Selim Hassan. He claimed the tomb dated from the Saitic period. Never heard of it. Labeled it the most extraordinary example of this type of tomb hole. Others dispute this dating and believe it dates back much earlier. I looked down the last shaft and saw water was up to the last rung of the ladder leading to the 3rd underground chamber. It is known that as early as 1934 the 3rd chamber was already underwater. Dr. Salem Hassan tried to clear the chamber, but after 4 years of pumping, the water level had not descended. This chamber is not known to flood, and this year the water had mysteriously risen higher than expected. The authorities have no idea why this is occurring, nor the source of the water. The Nile, which flows north and is considered to be the largest river in the world, is approximately 5 miles east of the Giza Plateau. All right, now they're talking about the sarcophagus under the pyramids. Climb down to this mysterious chamber. A stone slab cover to a sarcophagus buried just beneath the water's surface. Okay, so this is the 3rd level down then. There were undecipherable markings on the slab, a crisscross of deeply carved lines, and some symbols. There is those who believe this to be the tomb of the god Osiris, which is why they refer to it as the Osiris shaft. My inside sources reveal it to be anything but a tomb. My magnetometer had a higher reading than the norm, suggesting something else. And my source, an excellent timeline reader, claims it is dimensional portal. Okay. A Giza inspector confirmed it had never been opened, which one would find odd unless they had already tried to open it and had been unsuccessful. The water looked to be about mid-thigh on a man, but could be deeper in parts further back. Mid-thigh on a man, just slop in there, man. Jesus. I was under the Level down, the only person that'd been in there in 10 years, and I paid a whole pile of money. I'd be sloshing through whatever, man. You can swim, who cares? It's not flowing fast. Tie a rope to me so I don't get pulled away. While the water down there is clear, there exists a hodgepodge of construction debris. Who cares? Just swim. I mean, maybe they won't let you because they don't want you to damage it. That would be my only excuse. I crouch down to obtain samples. Hidden depths of the tunnels. I didn't even get a chance to really read this earlier. Perhaps the locations of all great pyramids are based on a water need. There's been a lot of talk of water being under some of the ones in Mexico, too. Bosnian pyramid tunnels. That Bosnian pyramid, which I have yet to see anything that proves it's a pyramid, but maybe in a few more shifts. Alright, the analysis of the water. Sodium higher than fresh water, but lower than the Mediterranean Sea. Which means the water that runs under Giza is essentially salt water. Yeah, but I mean, how salty salt? That doesn't mean anything, because some water has a little bit of salt, but it's still totally drinkable. And it's interesting that she doesn't clarify if it's potable water. Oh, wait, there's an ancient man-made Lake Morris is an ancient man-made lake in the northwest area of the Fayoum Oasis. So I guess now they made a man-made lake in ancient times in Egypt. I've never heard of that either. It was a freshwater lake that was 490 to 656 miles. Well, that's one heck of a man-made lake. I mean, where's the excavators to excavate that size lake? Today is a smaller saltwater lake called Birket Karun. I mean, how was it freshwater before, but now it's saltwater? The lake surface is 140 feet below sea level. How was it freshwater before? It is unknown when Lake Morris turned from freshwater to seawater or the cause. Well, this is really not helpful at all. So anyway, I found other talk about these tunnels and stuff. Now, some of these suppositions might be out there, but it does definitely look like these are legit. And there's all this crap is under there, is the main point I wanted to get to, which it was not. It was not before. This is total baloney. How could they not? How could this not be the talk of the town? So when I was younger, there was all this mystery that maybe there was a secret chamber under the Sphinx, okay? And then all of the skeptics are like, you people are cuckoo. That's stupid. They would have found it. Okay, so that's why it's all the more ironic now that there's like 500 palaces worth of hidden chambers under there this whole time, and nobody even cares, apparently. I feel like I'm getting trolled again. Oh, that Elf movie. I don't think I've done the Elf movie. Alright, let's go on to the... I had to rant about... So you're getting like 3 hours. That'll make up for last week a little bit. Sorry. The Elf movie. Okay. I did see this movie not that long ago. So I'm like, wait a minute. And so the outfit, okay? Do you see anything different about the outfit? Those who watch this movie. Excuse me. So, one thing I will say, I mean, the pants are not any better, okay? But, um, a lot of people are getting costume upgrades. Like this Slee Stack's got a costume upgrade. And I think the elf did get a costume upgrade on. And this is another one where Jackie, like, I kind of looked at it and then I saw more stuff that Jackie wrote and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, so it's the main one that I really noticed, and that I think this was Jackie's main one, was this embroidery, the gold embroidery along here is pretty nice looking, and it's like way less cheesy than before. The other thing I really noticed was this hat with the gold and the red flower, whatever the heck the red poobah that's up there. And Jackie also was thinking the same thing. So, I can't remember what else Jackie said. I'm a little skeptical at the thickness of this belt, but I would not swear to it. The other thing is, I just don't remember it being so plushy and fuzzy. Like, this is all plushy and fuzzy. And, like, they spent more money on that. They were so cheesy before. This collar looks nicer. I think it's bigger. It looks higher quality. It just doesn't look like it came from Walmart. So that whole, and then the hat though, the hat is like different. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's better, but, yeah, the gold, I don't think it was gold either, but I'm sure about that embroiders. I love embroidery. I love a beautiful embroidered fabric. So when a fabric is crap, I notice, and when it's good, I notice. The problem is that these beautiful embroidered fabric coats cost a bajillion freaking dollars. And so that's why I don't have any. And then usually they're dry clean, and now dry clean costs a bajillion dollars too. But yeah, but it's beautiful. I still enjoy looking at it. And it wasn't, no, he had this cheesy crap. I think maybe the cut down by the legs is different too. I'm trying to think. I don't think he had as much man part showing before, did he? I think it was cut a little differently. I mean, it's still cut cheesy, but there's something different about the cut. It's bugging me because you wouldn't see this before. I mean, I guess that's part of the stupid joke part, but still. The Peter Pan hat. Yeah. I think he might have had a thin black belt before. I always dislike it when there's this skinny little black belt. I just always feel like it looks cheap. And that's kind of how I remember it. The white, I think, got bigger and more fluffy. I don't mind that. I think that looks good. What happened to my green chair? That was like a gray chair, but it showed up green. And I swapped it out a couple weeks ago. So the old assistant liked that other chair, and she's been gone a long time, and I only had that chair here because she liked it. So one day I'm like, why am I doing that? So I swapped that one out and put it back there because there's a place back there I almost never sit in, and that's where that went. Not a Mandela. But good noticing. Where is the Sphinx nose? Did he look like, oh, I don't know. Cheap like Temu cheap. Yeah, pretty much. But you know, most stuff in the store is Temu cheap now. You might as well just buy from Temu because if you go to Macy's, it's going to be Temu cheap. So Temu cheap, so you might as well just buy it from Temu. So yeah, that's the thing. I'll buy from Temu because there's reviews. And it's really, really cheap. And then basically it's the same stuff that's in Macy's anyways. So if I'm going to get cheap stuff, at least I don't want to pay a lot. I mean, like, there was a purse that I've like, this purse is barely tolerable. And it was $130 at It's one of these mid-range stores around here. I'm like, $130 for this. And I go on like Temu or one of those, and I can get that purse for the same quality for like $50, $40. Probably like $40. Why should I buy it from this high-end store? It's just... Yes, Kitty, why should you? Kitty's over here complaining. I just don't feel like the quality is there. Like, you used to cough up a little, but if you coughed up a little, you got something nice. And now you cough up a little, and it's only a tiny bit above the total crap. You can't get the good stuff anymore. That's why I like old stuff now. You buy something really old. Buy a really old tool. Way better than the new tools. Now, maybe it needs a little cleaning, a little sharpening, a little straightening. But when you're done, it's going to be way less expensive and way better quality. Okay, so now we get to Spider-Man Lizard. This is Jackie again. It just looks... Is it me, or does it just look more like Spider-Man now? I mean, it almost has, like, human-shaped arms, and the legs kind of look like Spider-Man now. It looks like the legs are way apart in the back so that it stands like Spider-Man stands. And then the color is like more intense and shiny, like a cheesy Spider-Man costume. It's like it has a character, like it's a person now. And then those holes on the side, I'm pretty sure that was Jackie was mentioning that. The holes on the side are more just big. Like it's as big as his eye now. Anyway, so the feeling was that Spider-Man got more Spider-Man-y. Cat, what do you want? You want to go back out, then you'll be cold, then you'll want to go back in. Ugh. You can see here whine. Yeah, she's over here whining. All right. Out you go, whiner kitty. She sits over there quietly, and then if I don't magically notice with my psychic powers, she'll finally start whining. Okay, so I agree with Jackie that Spider-Man Lizard is more Spider-Man-y than I recall. Especially just the arm shape. The arm shape is bugging me. Like, come on. It doesn't even look real. It looks like it looks like a fake 3D printed plastic freaking lizard that with fake people arms. It's another troll. It's like, you know what else did that? It's those oh god, what do you call these? I must have been up here too long. I can't remember the name of simple thing. Kangaroos. They just used to look like animal arms, but now they have this weird buffed man arms that it's just kind of weird. It shouldn't just look like a human is hiding in a suit of an animal. And that's what it kind of looks like for the Roos. And now I guess those little lizards too. Alright, we did polecats. I said owls look weird. This thing. Okay. Alright, Spider-Man lizard. Duh. Okay, so seabirds drink seawater. Did we go through this already? I think we did, right? We went through this early. Tammy fail. I'm sure we did this. Didn't we do this? We did polecat, China cert. Yeah, this is all redos. Okay, so we're like done. We're done. Maybe I will do my last one and I will close it out at 3 hours. Then I don't have to rewrite anything. Pieces of the puzzle. Yeah. Every day one piece of the puzzle is stolen and a new piece is stuck in there. And then after a few years, Is it the original anymore? Spider-Man looks like that. That's going to be the thing. I'm going to read soon. Well, this lizard was actually the inspiration for Spider-Man. Duh, everybody knows that. Okay, the last one. This is for old people, at least my age. Tammy Faye Baker. You remember Tammy Faye Baker? Now, there's an older Mandela that her name now, last name is spelled B-A-K-K-E-R. A lot of us remember it being B-A-K-E-R. Baker. It looks like Backer now. Tammy Faye Baker, but it's still pronounced Baker, as far as I know. Tammy Faye Baker. Was she, because I swear I have never heard this ever, was she known for her gay advocacy? Have you ever heard of that? Like, okay, so people don't know Tammy Faye Baker. She was one of those mega churches. She was married to one of the dudes that ran the mega church. And so she was sort of like Charlie Kirk's wife, but older and a lot more makeup, believe it or not, even more than that. And she was older. And I actually couldn't find any images of her when she was younger. So I don't know if she was really a looker when she was younger. She could have been, but she was pretty old by the time she became famous as Tammy Faye Baker, with a ton of makeup and the curled eyes and the blonde hair and the mega church and the, oh Lord Jesus, blah, blah, blah speeches. But apparently in this timeline, she was famous for advocating for gay marriage and LGBTQ and all that stuff. And there was also a huge scandal. I thought it was just financial, but apparently in this timeline it was more. But does anybody remember her being... I mean, websites were saying she was a famous gay icon. Not that she was gay, but she advocated for it. I have never heard that before. And back then, it wasn't popular. And it sure as heck would not have been popular in a megachurch, in a Christian megachurch. It just would be against the grain, you know. It would stick out. Nowadays, if somebody says, yay, I'm pro-gay, I'm pro-trans, it's like, yeah, you and 100 billion other people said the same thing. So what? You're jumping on the bandwagon. But in those days, it was... you know, you're sticking out your neck. I should have heard of it. I should have known about it. And I have never once heard any such thing. So I was rather shocked. Does anybody remember anything about that? I mean, yeah, good on her, but I don't remember freaking anything about that. They're saying she was an icon. Not like she just said a couple good things once in a blue moon. Like she had whole shows on it and stuff. I'm like, no. She was just a normal... megachurch chick. That was it. And I was just laughing. Yeah, I don't know. I actually look back, was she really a man? In this timeline, maybe. I don't think in the old one. I do feel I thought she looked better. I'm like, if I gotten pickier... because I do kind of was like, I thought she was a little better looking than that, but I don't know. It's not like I would swear on it. But anyway, so I just thought it was weird because I don't remember a beep about. There were plenty of gay advocates in the gay community, in the art community, in the movie community, but you really didn't see them in the Christian megachurch community. And if she had, I just don't see how I wouldn't have heard of it. Back then, you gotta understand. Maybe she's only pro-gay man. I don't, apparently there wasn't, she was pretty... There were no indications of extreme prejudice on that. So, yeah, I don't know. I just, it was bizarre in that era. Tammy Faye. I want to call her Tammy Faye Backer, just for... evil joke reasons and because that's spelling now, and I just don't feel like She's not like the one I knew before. It's sort of like the Dalai Lama is a completely different human being than the one I remember, other than kind of his face. But his voice, his knowledge, what he says, what he does, everything is totally different here. I just don't feel like he should be called the Dalai Lama, because that's like totally different dude. I do think like the whole gay thing goes further back now than it did before. Like you'll just see more indicate. And Tammy Faye, she's like probably another example of that. Anyway, so it is 3 o'clock. I am got to go. Lucky I had all this energy, but I need to save a little bit of it for other stuff. So I do apologize for last week. I already have a few written down that I already slated for next week, including a thumbnail. So I'll be in good shape, hopefully. Yes, it's the witching hour. Not for Reddit, but for shopping on Vine. I do need to go check and see if there's any deals. So anyways, thank you all for coming. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline, and Happy New Year.